Have you ever felt someone's absence so deeply that it lingers in the quiet moments of your day? In the songs you hear, the streets you pass, or the little things that remind you of them? When a man secretly misses you, he rarely comes out and says it. Most men are taught to stay composed, to keep their emotions under control. But the truth is, feelings have a way of escaping, through actions, glances, habits, and unspoken gestures. Love, especially when it's unexpressed, doesn't disappear. It simply finds subtler ways to show itself. You see, missing someone isn't just about longing for their presence. It's about feeling the absence of emotional warmth, connection, and belonging that person brought into your life. For a man, that feeling can be both powerful and confusing. He might go about his day pretending everything is fine, keeping himself busy, joking with friends, or focusing on work. But when the noise fades, his thoughts quietly drift back to you. Maybe it's a scent, a memory, or just a moment of stillness that reminds him of what once was. And even if he tries to push it away, his heart keeps finding its way back to you. Psychologists say that men often process emotions differently from women. Instead of expressing sadness or loneliness directly, they channel it into subtle behaviors, small, almost invisible patterns that reveal what's really going on inside. He might check your social media, ask about you through friends, or hold on to things that remind him of you. These actions might seem insignificant at first, but together, they form a quiet map of longing, one that points straight to how deeply he still feels. When a man misses you, you'll feel it in his energy. There's a softness in the way he speaks your name, a hesitation when he hears about you, and sometimes a flicker of nostalgia that crosses his face when your memory surfaces. He might appear calm, even detached, but inside he's replaying moments, the laughter, the connection, the comfort of knowing someone truly understood him. And that's the essence of missing someone. Not just the physical absence, but the emotional void left behind. This isn't about desperation or obsession. It's about emotional attachment, the deep human need to stay connected to someone who once mattered. Even when pride, distance, or time come between two people, the heart has its own way of remembering. The man who misses you may never say it outright, but his actions will tell the story his words cannot. In this video, we'll explore 15 psychological signs that a man secretly misses you every day. These aren't just surface-level behaviors. They're emotional patterns rooted in psychology and human connection. Once you understand them, you'll see the truth hidden behind his silence. Because love doesn't always speak in words. Sometimes, it whispers in the spaces between them. He checks your social media. Often, when a man secretly misses you, one of the first and most revealing signs is how often he checks your social media. It might seem like a small thing, but in the digital age, this is one of the clearest ways people stay emotionally connected to someone they can't reach directly. Every view, every like, every quiet scroll through your posts is his way of being close to you without actually saying it out loud. He's curious about what you're doing, who you're with, and how you're feeling. Not because he's nosy, but because he still cares. He might not comment or like your posts openly, especially if he's trying to keep his feelings hidden. Instead, he watches silently, taking in every update and every picture. Maybe he plays the same story twice just to see your smile again. Maybe he lingers on old photos of you together, reliving memories he hasn't moved on from. To him, social media becomes a window into your world, a place where he can still feel connected even when distance, pride, or silence stands in the way. Psychologists explain that people often engage in this kind of digital proximity when they miss someone but aren't ready or able to communicate directly. It's a safe way to satisfy emotional longing without vulnerability. By seeing what you're doing, he feels like he still knows you, even if only from behind a screen. It's his quiet attempt to bridge the emotional gap between you. Sometimes his online behavior might even give him away. He may appear among the first viewers of your stories, or you might notice his name pop up after a long silence. He could accidentally like an old post or view your updates at odd hours, late at night, when people tend to feel loneliest. Those moments reveal what words cannot. He's thinking of you, wondering if you think of him too. So if you find him silently showing up online, it's not random. It's emotional gravity, that invisible pull of connection that keeps him coming back, even when he tries to convince himself he's moved on. In a world full of noise, His quiet curiosity speaks volumes. He finds excuses to text or call you. When a man secretly misses you, he often looks for small excuses to text or call, not because he has something important to say, but because he simply wants to feel connected to you again. It might start subtly. He messages you to ask about a random thing he already knows, checks in about something trivial, or pretends to need your opinion on a topic he could easily handle himself. These are not coincidences. They're carefully chosen moments where he can hear your voice or see your name on his screen without admitting that he misses you. Psychologists describe this behavior as emotional maintenance, an unconscious attempt to preserve emotional closeness even when direct intimacy feels risky. When he texts you just to ask how you've been, it's not the question that matters. It's the conversation that follows. Every reply from you becomes a reassurance that the bond between you still exists. Sometimes his messages come at unexpected times, late at night, early in the morning, or during quiet moments when he's alone. Those are the times when missing someone feels strongest because there are no distractions. The silence makes him think of you, and reaching out helps fill that emotional gap, even if it's just a short exchange. He may also use humor or casual topics to hide his real feelings. Maybe he sends a meme, a random thought, or a song that reminds him of you. To you, it might seem small, but behind it lies a bigger truth. He thought of you, and that thought felt important enough to act on. Calls work the same way. He might pretend it's about something practical, a quick question, a shared memory, or just checking in. But the real reason is emotional comfort. Hearing your voice gives him peace, even if he won't say it out loud. So when he keeps finding little reasons to reach out, it's not habit, it's heart. Each message, each call is his quiet way of saying, I still care, even when pride or fear keeps him from admitting it directly. Your name slips out in his conversations. When a man secretly misses you, your name often slips out of his mouth without him even realizing it. It might happen in casual conversations with friends, during stories about the past, or even in moments when your name doesn't quite fit the topic. Yet somehow it appears. This isn't accidental. It's a subtle psychological clue that you're still occupying space in his mind, even when he's trying to appear composed or indifferent. Psychologists call this phenomenon Freudian slip, or verbal leakage, where suppressed thoughts and emotions find small ways to escape through speech. When he misses you, you become a recurring thought in his subconscious, someone he mentally revisits throughout the day. So when he talks, those thoughts occasionally surface in conversation without conscious control. It's his heart quietly speaking before his mind can stop it. You might hear your name when he's telling a funny story. Oh, that reminds me of something you would say. Or when he's describing something he once experienced with you. Sometimes he'll correct himself quickly, change the subject, or laugh it off, but that little moment says a lot. It reveals that you're still part of his mental world, woven into his memories and reflections. Even when he's not talking directly about you, he may reference things associated with you, your favorite song, a place you liked, or a phrase you often used. It's as if his mind finds comfort in keeping those pieces of you alive in daily life. These small verbal traces are his way of staying emotionally connected while maintaining distance on the surface. If mutual friends notice and tease him about how often your name comes up, it's even clearer. People don't mention those they've forgotten. They mention those they still feel connected to. So when your name keeps slipping out of his conversations, don't dismiss it. It's not just memory, it's longing in disguise. Every accidental mention is a tiny confession that you still live rent-free in his heart and mind, even if he's too proud or afraid to say it out loud. 4. He remembers small details. About you. When a man secretly misses you, one of the most telling signs is that he remembers the smallest details about you, things you may have forgotten yourself. It could be how you take your coffee, the song you once said makes you happy, the story about your childhood pet, or even the way you wrinkle your nose when you laugh. These small memories linger in his mind because they're tied to moments that mattered to him emotionally, psychologically. This behavior stems from emotional imprinting. When someone leaves a deep emotional impact, the brain unconsciously stores and replays details associated with that person. Every detail he recalls about you is a thread connecting him back to those feelings. Remembering those things gives him comfort. It's like holding on to a piece of you when you're not around. You might notice that during conversations he brings up small things you once mentioned in passing. Didn't you say you love that cafe downtown? Or, I remember you said you hate the rain. These subtle reminders are his way of saying, I've been paying attention, without openly admitting how much he still cares. It shows that you've occupied a space in his thoughts that others haven't, even if you haven't spoken in a while. He might surprise you by recalling dates, your favorite movie, or the name of a friend you mentioned long ago. That's not coincidence, it's emotional attachment. When someone misses you, their mind revisits old moments, replaying conversations like echoes of connection. Those details become emotional anchors that keep you close, even in your absence. Psychologists note that memory and affection are deeply intertwined. The more someone means to us, the more vividly we recall even the smallest things about them. So when he remembers the tiny details, your habits, preferences, or quirks, it's not just memory at work. It's affection, nostalgia, and longing all mixed together. It's his heart quietly whispering, I haven't forgotten you, not even the smallest parts. He mentions the past. Often when a man misses you, he often brings up the past, not to dwell on it, but to relive the moments that once made him feel close to you. It's one of the most natural yet powerful signs that you still linger in his thoughts. When he mentions shared memories, the trip you took, the song you laughed about, or even a small, ordinary day that meant something to both of you, it shows that those memories are still alive for him. He's not just reminiscing. He's reaching out emotionally, trying to reconnect through the only thing he still has, the past. Psychologists explain that revisiting shared memories triggers emotional recall, a process where the brain reactivates the feelings experienced in those moments. So when he talks about the time you both stayed up talking for hours, or how you used to make him laugh, he isn't just recalling events. He's subconsciously trying to feel that same warmth and connection again. It's his heart's quiet way of saying, I miss how that felt. Sometimes he might casually bring up these memories in conversation, pretending it's just small talk. Remember that restaurant we went to? Or, I was listening to that song you used to love. But these moments are rarely random. Each mention is a small bridge, a safe way to step closer to you emotionally without exposing his vulnerability outright. If he often compares the present to the past by saying things like, things were simpler back then, or no, one else gets me like you did, it's a sign that he's mentally revisiting what he's lost. He's using nostalgia as a substitute for closeness. So when a man keeps mentioning the past, it's not just sentimentality, and it's emotional longing. It's his way of reliving the comfort, laughter, and love that once surrounded you. Every story he recalls is a quiet confession that he hasn't let go, that in his heart, a part of him is still standing in those moments, wishing they hadn't ended. His friends know about you when a man secretly misses you. One of the strongest giveaways is how often your name comes up when he's with his friends. Even if he doesn't talk to you directly, his close circle probably knows exactly who you are, and they've heard your name more than once. That's because when someone means something to us, they naturally become a part of our conversations, even when they're not around. His friends might tease him, drop subtle hints, or smile knowingly when your name comes up. That's a clear sign you're still on his mind, even if he's trying to hide it. Psychologists call this emotional referencing, when someone seeks to keep a person emotionally present by mentioning them in social contexts. Talking about you gives him a small sense of connection, a way to keep your memory alive without actually reaching out. It's a quiet emotional release, disguised as casual conversation. He might bring up something you said, something you did, or a funny memory involving you, and his tone often changes when he does, softer, more nostalgic, maybe even protective. Even if he tries to sound detached, his friends can tell there's more behind his words. They notice the subtle smile, the slight pause before your name, or the way he listens whenever someone mentions you. Some of them might even know he checks your social media or still keeps photos of you tucked away somewhere. His friends often become the safe space where he can express what he won't say to you directly. If you ever cross paths with his friends and they treat you warmly or mention that he talks about you sometimes, that's your confirmation. He hasn't moved on emotionally. Men don't talk about people they're indifferent to. They talk about the ones who left a mark. So when his friends know you, even without recent contact, it means you're still a presence in his inner world. through their laughter, teasing, or quiet acknowledgement. They reveal the truth he's trying to keep hidden. He misses you, and you still matter more than he's ready to admit. He gets quiet. When you talk about other men, when a man secretly misses you, one of the clearest emotional signs appears in his silence, especially when you mention other men. It's not anger or open jealousy. It's that quiet shift in his tone, his eyes, or his energy that gives him away. His voice might trail off, his smile may fade slightly, or he might suddenly change the subject. That's because hearing about another man reminds him, consciously or not, that he no longer has the closeness he once did, and that realization stings. Psychologists call this reaction emotional dissonance, the inner conflict between what he feels and what he tries to show. Outwardly, he may want to seem calm and unaffected, but inside, he feels a wave of discomfort. When you talk about another man, it highlights his loss and makes him aware of the emotional distance between you. Missing you already hurts. Imagining someone else close to you amplifies that pain. Instead of expressing jealousy directly, he suppresses it. That's why his silence feels heavy. It's full of emotions he doesn't want to reveal. He may nod politely, force a smile, or say something neutral like, "That's good," but deep down, his thoughts are racing. He might start wondering if you've moved on or if the bond he felt was one-sided. This quiet withdrawal is his heart's defense mechanism, protecting him from vulnerability while still showing that he cares. You might also notice small cues. He fidgets, avoids eye contact, or becomes distant right after such conversations. Sometimes he even goes quiet for a while afterward, needing time to process his feelings. These subtle changes are his unspoken way of saying, "I don't want to lose you, but I can't admit that I still feel something." So when he goes quiet the moment another man's name comes up, don't mistake it for indifference. That silence is full of emotion, jealousy, longing, and unspoken affection. It's not that he doesn't care. It's that he cares too much, and silence is the only way he knows to hide it. 8. He randomly appears where you are. When a man secretly misses you, one of the most noticeable signs is that he starts appearing in places you happen to be, often by coincidence. You might run into him at your favorite cafe, the gym, a bookstore, or a spot you once went to together. He'll probably act surprised, smiling and saying something like, "Wow, didn't expect to see you here." But deep down, it's rarely accidental. When a man misses someone, he unconsciously gravitates toward spaces that remind him of that person or increase his chances of seeing them again. Psychologists describe this as proximity-seeking behavior, a natural instinct people show when they crave emotional closeness. Even if he's trying to hide his feelings, his actions betray his heart. Being near you, even without direct communication, gives him comfort. Just seeing you, even for a brief moment, can ease that quiet ache of missing you. It's his way of staying connected without having to expose his vulnerability. He might justify it to himself with logic. "I just happen to be in the area," or "I like this place anyway." But emotionally, it's driven by longing. If it happens more than once, that's a strong sign it's intentional. Maybe he remembered your schedule, or he subtly checked where you might be through mutual friends or social media. It's not obsession. It's yearning mixed with hesitation. He wants to see you but doesn't know how to approach you directly. You might notice that when he does run into you, he seems both nervous and happy. His words may stumble, his energy shifts, and there's a quiet spark in his eyes. Those brief encounters mean more to him than he'll ever admit. So when he accidentally keeps showing up where you are, don't brush it off as coincidence. It's emotional gravity pulling him toward you. He misses the connection, the energy, and the comfort of your presence. And even if he can't say it, his actions whisper the truth. Being near you still feels like home. He tries to stay connected indirectly. When a man secretly misses you but isn't ready to admit it, he often finds ways to stay connected to you indirectly. This means he keeps himself within your world, just not in obvious ways. He might not text or call as often, but he'll interact with things that keep him close. Liking your social media posts, replying to your stories, or checking in with your mutual friends to see how you're doing. On the surface, it seems casual, but underneath, it's a quiet attempt to maintain emotional proximity without risking rejection or vulnerability. Psychologists refer to this as passive connection. Maintenance. It's when someone tries to preserve a bond through indirect communication because direct expression feels too intense or unsafe. For him, this indirect closeness is a way of saying, I still care, without having to face the possibility that you may not feel the same. By staying within your digital or social orbit, he feels like he hasn't completely lost you. He might comment on mutual friends' posts when you're tagged, watch your stories without ever replying, or casually ask others about your life. Sometimes he'll share something online that feels strangely relevant to you, a song, a quote, a memory, as if hoping you'll notice. These small actions are his emotional breadcrumbs, subtle ways of keeping the connection alive while pretending it's nothing serious. Even in group settings, he might position himself in your presence without initiating direct conversation. Just being near you, seeing you, or hearing about you brings him a sense of comfort. That's how longing often works. It seeks connection, even in fragments. So when you notice him staying close through quiet gestures or indirect routes, understand that it's not coincidence or habit. It's emotional self-protection. He misses you, but instead of saying it outright, he lingers in the spaces where you still exist, because in those moments, it feels like the distance between you isn't quite so wide. And he reacts emotionally to your posts when a man secretly misses you. His emotions often reveal themselves through how he reacts to your social media posts. Even if he's trying to keep his feelings hidden, his responses, or lack of them, often say more than words ever could. You might notice he likes certain posts, especially ones where you look happy, confident, or a bit nostalgic. He may comment subtly, reply to your stories, or use emojis that carry more meaning than they seem to on the surface. Psychologists explain this through emotional expression theory. When people suppress direct communication, their emotions find indirect outlets. For him, your posts become emotional triggers. They remind him of moments you shared, the things he misses, or the person you still are in his mind. Even if he doesn't interact publicly, he may view every post you share, sometimes more than once. Those views, though invisible, are acts of quiet longing, ways of staying connected without exposing his heart. His reactions might also shift depending on his feelings. If you post something about happiness or moving on, he might stay silent, feeling conflicted or hurt. But if you post something sentimental, he might engage as if to say, I understand, without actually saying it. That's the emotional tug-of-war between wanting to reach out and fearing rejection. Sometimes, he'll use your posts as a way to gauge your emotions, wondering if you're thinking of him, if you've moved on, or if there's still a chance. This curiosity keeps him emotionally tied to you. So when you notice his subtle online behavior, a like, a comment, or even repeated views, don't underestimate it. These aren't just casual actions. They're emotional signals. Each click, each reaction, each pause on your picture is his silent way of saying, I still see you. I still care. Even when he doesn't speak to you directly, his emotions leak through the screen, revealing what he tries so hard to hide. He asks mutual friends about you when a man secretly misses you. He often finds subtle ways to stay informed about your life, and one of the most common is by asking mutual friends about you. He might not come right out and say he misses you, but he'll casually drop your name into conversations. How's she been? Or is she still working at that place? These small questions might seem harmless, but they come from curiosity mixed with longing. He wants to know how you're doing, whether you're happy, and most of all, if you've moved on. Psychologists refer to this as indirect relational monitoring, when someone tries to stay emotionally connected without making direct contact. It's a behavior often seen when feelings remain unresolved. By asking about you through friends, he gets emotional reassurance without risking vulnerability. It's his safe way of saying, I still care, without having to face the possibility that you might not feel the same. His friends often pick up on it too. They notice how his tone changes when your name comes up, softer, more attentive, sometimes even defensive. He may try to sound casual, but his curiosity gives him away. He might ask who you're spending time with, if you're seeing anyone new, or if you've mentioned him lately. Each question is a quiet attempt to understand where he stands in your world. Sometimes he uses these conversations to send indirect messages back to you, a small reminder that he's still around. You might hear from a friend, he asked about you the other day, or he said you seemed happy. These comments are his emotional breadcrumbs, subtle ways of reaching out while keeping his pride intact. So when mutual friends mention that he's been asking about you, don't underestimate it. That curiosity isn't just nostalgia, it's emotional connection. He's still invested in your life, still drawn to your presence, and still trying to bridge the silence through the only channel that feels safe, the people who connect you both. Checks. He gets nostalgic about shared memories. When a man secretly misses you, nostalgia often becomes his emotional outlet. You'll notice that he brings up old memories, the times you laughed together, a song you both loved, or a moment that only the two of you would remember. He doesn't do this by accident. When someone misses you deeply, their mind naturally drifts toward the moments that once brought them happiness and emotional closeness. Revisiting those memories is his way of feeling connected to you again, even if only in conversation. Psychologists describe this as nostalgic recall, a psychological process where people re-experience emotional warmth and comfort by mentally reliving meaningful past events. For him, nostalgia is not just about remembering, it's about reconnecting. When he says things like, "Remember that night we stayed up talking until morning?" or "That place always reminds me of you," he's not simply reminiscing, he's expressing longing in disguise. You might notice that his voice softens when he talks about those moments, or that he smiles with a hint of sadness. That's because those memories are emotionally charged. They remind him of how deeply he felt when he was with you. It's his heart's way of reaching out through time, trying to recapture something that once felt real and safe, even if he pretends it's casual. The fact that he's bringing up the past at all means he's still emotionally anchored to it. Men often revisit memories when they're not ready to move on, using nostalgia as a safe space where love still exists without risk or rejection. So when he talks about the good old days, don't underestimate it. Each story he tells is a quiet confession, a piece of his heart revisiting what it misses most: you. Through those shared memories, he's not just remembering the past. He's reliving the feeling of being close to you, hoping you feel it too. 13. He keeps things that remind him of you. When a man secretly misses you, he often holds on to things that remind him of you. A photo, a hoodie, a note, or even a song that brings back your memory. These objects become emotional anchors, helping him feel connected to what he's lost. He might not admit it, but those items hold sentimental value far beyond their appearance. To him, they're pieces of a time and feeling he's not ready to let go of. Psychologists describe this behavior as emotional object attachment, where people keep meaningful possessions to preserve emotional bonds. When someone misses a person deeply, physical reminders act as a bridge between memory and presence. That's why he might keep your gifts, old messages, or even everyday things like a coffee mug you used once. They're not just things. They carry emotional energy tied to you. He may not even realize he's doing it. Maybe he still wears the jacket you once complimented, keeps your photo in a drawer, or refuses to delete your chats. Each of these actions reveals a part of his emotional struggle, the need to feel close to you without reopening the pain of direct contact. It's his quiet way of holding on to what once brought him warmth. These small keepsakes often bring both comfort and ache. When he looks at them, he feels your presence again, the laughter, the tenderness, the connection. It's bittersweet, but it helps him cope with the emptiness your absence left behind. For some, these reminders fade over time. For others, they linger, tucked away like secrets of the heart. So, when a man holds on to things that remind him of you, it's not just nostalgia. It's love trying to survive distance and silence. Those little objects aren't random souvenirs. They're emotional proof that you mattered, that you still do, and that even when words fail, memory has found a way to stay. He still protects you emotionally. When a man secretly misses you, one of the most powerful signs is that he still protects you emotionally, even from a distance. He may no longer be a part of your daily life, but he still cares about how you feel, what affects you, and whether you're okay. This kind of quiet protection goes beyond words or presence. It comes from genuine love and emotional attachment that doesn't fade easily. You might notice that he defends you when others speak negatively about you, or that he avoids saying anything that could hurt you, even in moments of frustration. If he hears that you're struggling, he feels it deeply. Sometimes, he'll check in subtly through mutual friends or offer help without making it obvious. It's not about control or pity, it's about concern. He wants to make sure you're emotionally safe, even if he can't be the one by your side. Psychologists call this protective empathy. When someone continues to feel responsible for another person's emotional well-being because of a deep emotional bond. When a man truly cares, that instinct doesn't disappear just because the relationship changes. His empathy becomes protective energy, a quiet, unseen effort to shield you from pain. He may also be careful with his own words or actions, ensuring he doesn't cause you unnecessary stress. For example, he might hold back from sharing certain things that could upset you, or he might stay silent when his emotions are heavy, just to avoid adding to your burden. Even from afar, he still thinks about your peace of mind. This emotional protection is often invisible but deeply meaningful. It shows that his love for you has matured beyond desire or ego. It's become selfless. So when you sense that he still looks out for you, even when there's no reason for him to, understand this. Missing you isn't just about wanting you back. It's about still caring enough to guard your heart, even when he no longer has the right to hold it. He smiles whenever your name comes up. When a man secretly misses you, his emotions often reveal themselves in the smallest, most genuine ways, one of which is the way he smiles when your name comes up. It's not a forced or polite smile. It's soft, unguarded, and filled with memory. That tiny shift in his expression says more than any words could. It's as if, in that brief moment, he's transported back to the times you shared, to the laughter, the warmth and the feeling of connection that he still quietly holds on to. Psychologists call this emotional recall through associative memory, when a person's emotions resurface automatically upon hearing a name or remembering someone meaningful. Your name acts like a trigger for the positive emotions he once felt around you. His body responds before his mind even processes it. That involuntary smile is his heart's way of saying, I still care. Even if he's trying to appear composed, people around him often notice the change. His tone softens, his eyes brighten, or he pauses for a second before continuing the conversation. Sometimes he'll laugh quietly or shake his head, as if remembering something only he understands. That's nostalgia mixed with affection, a blend of missing you and cherishing what once was. You might not see it yourself, but his friends often do. They notice that every time your name comes up, he reacts differently, more attentive, more emotional. That's because he hasn't detached emotionally. You still occupy a space in his heart that no one else has filled. So when your name makes him smile, it's not just habit or politeness. It's a glimpse of truth breaking through his guard, proof that your presence still lives in his memories. Behind that small smile lies a universe of feelings he's never stopped carrying: gratitude, tenderness, and the ache of missing someone he once felt completely at home with.